So the game is in Los Angeles, but will USC feel like the home team? We're expecting some weather. It might be more conducive to how Iowa likes it. Marvin, Powell III, MVP3, he's back. We're going to talk about that. Plus, folks probably call this big boy football. Is USC ready to play big boy football? And Marvin and I will give you our predictions at the end of the show. So stay tuned for this episode of Locked On USC.
You are Locked On USC, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Fight on, everyone, and welcome to Locked On USC, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is also the #1 sports podcast network. Whether you are watching this show on YouTube, or wherever you want to download this podcast, you pick the platform. Go ahead and download the show. This show's always going to be free. This show is always going to appreciate your support. Got MVP3 back. He's dressed like Nanuka the North out there. He's ready for the game. I guess USC might be hosting this game, but it's going to be 12:30. It's going to be moist. The weather forecast is for rain, then more rain. The temperature isn't going to be an issue. It's not going to be cold, but, high of 64, low of 57. But again, 2 inches of rain, it's going to make for an interesting day, MVP. These are the same conditions that the Hawkeyes played in last week when they hosted Oregon. Cooler back there, but nevertheless, does this give the visitors the advantage? USC plays on grass. The Hawkeyes play on field turf, that fake stuff. So will the weather kind of change up Coach Riley's play calling? Which game, I guess, let me ask you this first before we get into the USC game. Which game sticks out in your mind from your USC playing days and when you just knew it was going to be wet, it was going to be miserable? Do you remember one of those?
I'll be honest, Mark. In my 4 years at USC, we never had a bad weather game. We never had a crazy weather game. We played Penn State at Giant Stadium in August.
It was for some reason. It was humid.
Yeah, it was very humid. And then Curtis Enos ran all over us. That's another story, though. But no, Notre Dame in '96, we were the #1 team in the nation. We were 6-0. Keyshawn Johnson was our guy. And we went into Notre Dame. To me, it was freezing. I was a Valley boy. I'm from LA, the Valley. So you don't know cold like that. It was cold out there for that game. But other than that, no crazy weather games. All the games at USC, it never rained. I never played in a home game where it rained.
Crazy.
Yeah, never. And if it did rain, it drizzled and it was not memorable. So, and then playing at Washington, playing at Washington State, playing at Oregon. It was cold, but it wasn't crazy cold. You know what I mean? So honestly, I haven't seen extreme weather like some of my teammates who went on to play in the pros or some of the guys at SC who played in venues where they did have bad weather.
Is it harder playing when it's hot, or is it harder to play when it's cold? I know you haven't really experienced it, but
we played when it was hot. It was hot and humid at Florida State. It was hot and humid at Florida State. Absolutely. I would say it is tougher to play when it's hot, because even when it's cold, when you're playing, your body warms up. You know what I mean? So when you're on the field in a cold weather game, you feel the cold, but there's so much testosterone and just you're in the game, your body's warm, you're thinking about the guy in front of you, because when the ball snaps, nobody cares how cold it is. The guy in front of you doesn't have any mercy on you because of the weather, and at the same time, they have to deal with it too. So when you talk about an advantage in the weather game, both teams have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You can argue that Iowa's better suited for it. I think that's a strong argument. But at the end of the day, that's not going to be the difference in what happens in this game, in my opinion. 2 inches of rain, that's a lot of rain, especially for California kids who ain't used to that. But that's not going to be the difference in the game. Will it be a factor? It could be. But there are other things that I think are more important and more relevant that should have a say in this game.
Well, you kind of touched on it there for a moment. Does the style of play, USC's they're more balanced. They like to throw the ball around. Iowa, that's not who they are. Does that kind of level the playing field a little bit, though, when you have those types of conditions where, typically bad things happen when you throw the ball compared to when you're running the ball? So does that give Iowa an advantage, especially coming out of a game that they played in just last week in these types of in this type of environment.
Yeah, so when it's raining, you figure it's gonna be more of a ground game. And for us, I mean, that's a must anyway. It doesn't matter where we're at and who we're playing. Our offense, what we're doing is based off us running the ball. That's just the bottom line. In situations where we haven't ran the ball well, you've seen how it impacts the passing game and the rest of the flow of the offense. So right now we have King Miller averaging almost 6 yards a carry, or is it more than that? More than that. I think he's almost at 8 actually. Yards a carry. This guy's killing it, and we're going to be dependent on that in this game for everything else that we want to do in the passing game. So rain, sleet, snow, it doesn't matter. USC needs to run that ball.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how creative Coach Riley can get in this game, getting the ball into other people's hands, not just hand off to King Miller, hand to Brian Jackson. Maybe you see a little bit more of Harry Dalton and Riley Wormley, the two freshman running backs. But I anticipate, maybe Mekhi Lemon doing a lot of end around jet sweep type of stuff. Those types of
could be. Listen, a run game and defense travels. Iowa has both. Okay, they have a defense. That defense is coming to play. Who we're playing is a wounded animal. We're playing a team that's only lost to their arch rival, Indiana and Oregon. So they have respectable losses when you look at that. You know what I mean? So this is going to be a tough game for us. They remind me of Utah almost. A very tough team. Get on defense, run the ball, and a quarterback who's going to also run that ball. So this is going to be some rain, sleet, or snow. It don't matter. If we don't come out physical, if we don't come out explosive, if we don't come out attacking, if we don't come out feeding that running back and getting positive yards on first down, second down, if we don't make those safeties come up, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have to really play one of our best games, our best game of the year against a stout Iowa defense. And they know we run the ball. They'll be ready for it. I think that we have I think we're bigger and stronger, but these guys are tough, man. They're tough, and they're coming here to get a win. And again, they in their mind, they have 3 losses right now. They're not. No one's talking about the playoffs for them, but they're playing for pride, man. That coach has established culture over there. So coming to LA on a Saturday afternoon, in the Coliseum in the rain, he's loving that. Their head coach is loving that, and he's telling them that they're going to play their style of football, which is physical and running that ball, running that quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. No, I was just about to say, they're coming in as a wounded animal. I mean, they had that last-second walk-off loss by a field goal at home.
Yeah.
Now they've got to come in here. Yeah, mathematically, they're still alive for the playoffs.
Yeah.
You got 2 ranked teams, USC 17 in the playoff poll, Iowa's 21. Obviously, they're coming in here as to play the role of a spoiler.
Absolutely.
USC, they're looking to, hey, this is playoff round number 1.
That's right.
Win this game, and then we got to go on the road for the next playoff game before you host UCLA. So go ahead.
And that's the attitude. I mean, this is right now. Again, we're in the playoffs, people. We're already in the playoffs because if we don't win out, we ain't going. We win out, we have a very, very good chance of going. So this is a must win for us. Without question, it has to happen because the difference in us going into the playoffs or not, we're talking about 2 different narratives here going into the offseason. And for everything that Lincoln Riley has endured from us, from the media, from the fans, and it's all fair. It's all fair. He's the one that said the Mecca of college football, which is the standard. I'm happy he said it. I'm happy he wasn't afraid to say it. I'm happy that he knows what the standard is because that's who we've been. That's who we've been multiple times. Through these different eras. So he knows what's expected of him and what he has to do. In year 4, 7-2, playing a very good Iowa team who has a nationally ranked, they're a top 5 defense. I mean, this is going to be a tough one. I was shocked to see this thing open up at 6.5, to be honest with you. I expect us to do better than that, but this could be a close game. It really could be a close game. And hopefully we fight on and really get out there and finish this game strong. And that's dependent upon the run game. Us winning this game isn't going to be because Jaden and Mekhi and Jacoby. This would be because our offensive line pushed those guys around and the running back ran. This is about running the ball, rain, sleet, or snow.
Absolutely. In fact, that's a perfect segue for us to go into the next segment. Coach Riley said this the other day after practice. This is big boy football. And you're in the month of November. It's win or lose. Win or go home.
That's right.
And you're facing. Look, It started with Nebraska, physical. You then came home, you took on Northwestern, another physical matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Hosting Iowa likes to take physical to the nth degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, we talked about, we got Oregon and UCLA coming up. Those are going to be physical just because they're former Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac-8 type of rivalry games, so to speak.
Right.
And everybody is, USC is always everybody's Super Bowl. So we're going to talk about what Coach Riley said in the next segment. That's coming up next. The NBA is back, and there is literally no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game, Marvin, or you just want to ride that hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score next to the fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets. You can put that into a same-game parlay, and you have a shot at winning huge, big-time payouts. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is going to give a new customer $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So head on over to FanDuel.com, sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. I want to say thank you again for making Locked On USC your first listen every day. And I also want to say thank you for making Locked On the #1 podcast network. Okay, Marvin, it's November. Trojans, they're 7-2. They have a chance to prove themselves in another, and I'm using finger quotes here for those of you listening, big boy football game. After practice the other day, Coach Riley spoke rather matter-of-factly. No coach speak, just straight talk, which I totally appreciate. Love candor. Here's what he said. Here's his quote. All of our focus is on this. Every one of these games, they all matter a lot. We understand that. This is a big boy game, big time opportunities. Just embrace it. We're not trying to hide or minimize it. Winning's fun. Putting yourself in opportunities to accomplish some cool things is a lot of fun. Every time you win, you make these games more valuable and more important. It doesn't mean you change your approach, but I think having an understanding and a realization that this is cool. This is a cool position to put yourself in. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to do anything that would keep you from putting your best foot forward. And when you get these, because they're hard to get to. So Marvin, I guess taking in what Coach Riley just said, the mental part of the game as a player, how do you keep that energy harnessed? You gotta, it's a prize fight. It's a 15-rounder. You don't want to, punch yourself out in the first round. How do you do that as a player?
I'll tell you what, you really have to stay in tune and just stay in a certain position mentally and just stay right physically. It's about the way you practice. It's the way you approach practice, the way you think about practice, the way you visualize yourself practicing. These things matter. You don't just go out there and get it done. You got to be tough in practice. You got to be tough when you don't want to when you don't want to practice. You got to be tough when you're lifting and you don't want to lift. It's maintaining that mental edge and just realizing that on Saturday you don't want to be in a position where you say to yourself, "Man, I wish I had done some more in practice. I wish I had done some more in the weight room. I wish I had done some more, conditioning drills and all the extra stuff." You got to stay locked in. You do. You have to stay locked in and mentally tough through the ups, the downs, the wins, the losses, the good plays, the bad plays, and really, it's the leadership as well. Leadership has to keep you focused. Your coach's job is to stay in your head and make sure that you realize what time it is and you realize what the job is. And I have to give our coaches credit for that because I feel like our guys show up. We play tough, even when we don't, the games that we've lost. I mean, we still played our heart out. The guys go hard. You know what I mean? So Link has done a great job of working on establishing our culture. You see it in how we won against Northwestern. You see it in what happened in Nebraska. You see it when our guys are getting hurt. We're losing starters at the beginning of the season, throughout these games. And it's next man mentality. We're seeing the next man, stand up. King Miller, his brother. I mean, perfect examples. You know what I mean? So it starts at the top. Leadership, the head coach has to be able to create that energy, create that mindset, and help the guys maintain it throughout on a daily basis. When I was at USC, I had Charles White as a coach. I had Doug Smith as my coach, and I had Hugh Jackson as my coach. And those guys kept a fire under my butt. Not that I was unfocused, but those were the kind of guys that, remind, because they all played,
Yes.
Hugh Jackson was a quarterback in college. Doug Smith, one of the best centers of all time in the NFL. Charlie White. We all know that name. So these are tough guys, man, who understand culture, and they did a great job, with me, in my opinion. And I think Lincoln and his guys are also in that same kind of mold. Our guys come out there ready to go, and you have to attribute the leadership to that as well, because the message that they have to hear is being heard, and it's obvious.
Right. No, as a defender, you probably get a little bit more jacked up for these types of games, especially if you play linebacker, and if you're going up against a running team like Iowa. Mm-hmm. This is what Desmond Stevens said after practice the other day. Quote, linebackers dream to go against that running game and get down and dirty in the box. Now, you played fullback. You're intimate with the linebackers. Very. You know what it's like to meet those guys in the hole, mano-y-mano. I mean, this is a snot bubble, big boy type of game. Mm-hmm. How important will it be for USC's linebacker play, especially in less than ideal conditions?
Right. Yeah. So when you consider, at linebacker, we've been up and down, let's be honest. Our guys have showed flashes. Our guys have had good games, but we haven't really put it together. We're seeing better play. We're seeing better play. We're seeing that our guys are getting coached up. And in a game like this where it's going to be wet, Iowa isn't coming out there throwing the ball. We're not playing against a team who's going to throw the ball, 30, 40 times. They're going to pound the ball. So Desmond's right, and he realizes that in a game like this, he has to come down. He has to play downhill. He has to make the right fit. He has to be physical, keep his head up, wrap. That's the biggest thing, wrapping and tackling, because so many times this year, we've been in position, we've made contact, but the running back just broke through and kept going. So this is a game where he absolutely, him and Gentry's guys have to absolutely just lock in, realize it's going to be a black and blue game. The whole game is going to be run drill. And for those who don't know, run drills is a portion of practice where all you do is run the ball. It's the offense versus the defense. There are no receivers and safeties. It's just the linemen, D linemen, linebackers, tight end, fullback, running back, quarterback. That's it. And you pound that ball, and you do that maybe 15 plays in that drill. This whole game will be a run drill. And I'm believing that should be reflected in practice, okay? It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be nothing cute about this game. This game ain't about no cuteness, nothing like that, nothing sexy. This is FU ball, black and blue ball, and let's go get it. You know what I'm saying? And for a guy like me, a blocking fullback, I loved it. My pride and joy was going up in that A gap and attacking that Mike linebacker. And like I told you, in my years at USC, Chris Claiborne got me ready. Zeke Marino got me ready. Sammy Knight got me ready. You know what I mean? So I'm expecting that energy that I'm talking about to be represented at practice this week and show up on Saturday. This would be a physical game. If you love inside play, if you love physicality, you should love this game, because I think Lincoln and Iowa are going to come out running that ball.
Oh, dude, you got me fired up right now. So you are absolutely correct, 100%. This is going to be one of those black and blue, as I call, snot bubble type of football games.
Absolutely. No mercy. It's a no mercy game. That's what it is. We ain't being cute Saturday. It's a no mercy game.
Well, here's going to be the difference in the game. It's going to be Jaden Mayaba. Jaden can run the ball just like Iowa's Mark Gronowski at quarterback. Mm-hmm. The difference being is Jaden can also throw it a hell of a lot better than Gronowski can.
Right.
And Mark is dangerous. I mean, he's run for 338 yards this year. He's got 12 rushing touchdowns. He's also he's actually scored in all 9 games this year. So that's their key. Here's something else. Iowa creates almost 1.5 turnovers per game. And they're 8th in the country in interception rate. We know that's where Jaden kind of struggles. And, lately, even though he's got 17 passing touchdowns and only 6 interceptions, he's also reigned for 6 scores. He's got interceptions in 5 games in a row, and that's what concerns me. So that, and ball security, don't make any dumb plays. Right. Run the ball when you have to, Jaden. Don't force throws downfield if you don't have to. And the other thing, and this is going to be one of my keys of the game we'll talk about, is you can't let Iowa's special teams beat you. They're more than capable. So if you're going to have I don't want to call it a ball control offense, because that's what Iowa wants. Mm-hmm. They want to, speed the game up, run the ball, keep possession, that's where Jaden can't be loose with the ball. You can't give them that extra possession, taking one away from you, because I think there's a chance there'll be minimal possessions in this game, kind of like how that game against Northwestern started last week.
Mm-hmm.
Hope it doesn't go like that all game, but it's something to keep an eye on.
Right. I agree. I agree with you completely. I do. Listen, for us, it's very simple. I know we're going to get into the keys of victory in the next segment. And I'll wait for your next segment, Mark, because that's where I'm going right now.
That's fine. Perfect. Yeah, like I said, the difference for me, Jaden is going to be the cog that makes it go. We know that King Miller is going to run the ball. We know USC is going to want to run the ball. They'll use their tight ends. Jaden will be the glue. He can't, as long as he just plays within himself, USC should be able to pull away in the second half. And you and I, we're going to talk about that next coming up. Yep. Keys of the game and the score. Mm-hmm. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today, and you'll see parts on your front doorstep tomorrow from over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, electrical items to choose from, including from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service, they always have your blind side covered. If you need parts fast for a project, that's not a problem with Supply House. They have next-day delivery, and that is a total game changer. Plus, their Trademaster perks like priority shipping and a dedicated support, it makes the whole process that much smoother. Join the free Trademaster program today. Score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com, sign up for free, and use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com, real people, real service. All right, MVP. I got my keys. Give me your 3 keys to this game, and then give me your final score prediction.
So in a game where it's going to be wet, again, we're playing against stout defense, good running team. We can't listen. Nothing cute on offense, Lincoln. Okay, nothing cute. No double passes. No fake double this. Throw it in the rain. None of that. We're in a position where we've established ourselves as one of the best offenses in the nation. Okay, whether we're running the ball inside, outside, running with the quarterback, play action. Let's just play our ball. Let's attack them on offense and not get cute. You want to go down the field, throw it down the field. You want to throw your screen to Makai. But let's run that ball, keep it simple and nothing cute. Secondly, again, a team who plays great defense. They're known for their special teams. They run the ball. Penalties. We can't be in a situation where we allow them to eat up so much clock and control the game with that. Penalties contribute to that. So let's play smart football as well. No penalties. Thirdly, we need to let our corners and our safeties play back. Yep. And we need to commit our front seven to that run. We need to completely sell out to the run. So that's it. I mean, whether we're blitzing, whether we get 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, however they want to do it, we have to put pressure on their backfield because that's going to be the strength of their offense. And if we don't do that, it's going to be a long day. So the penalties, no cuteness from Lincoln, and let's pressure that backfield and let our corners cover.
So you heard it right there. You don't want Makai Lemon trying to throw a pass in the rain. We tried that once.
No.
Experiment failed. I'm not going to do it again.
No.
Your final score prediction.
It's a 6.5 point spread, and I've been learning to respect that a little bit more these days. I'm looking at USC's averaging 40 points a game. They're playing a top 5 defense. I'm going to go ahead and give them that 40 at home. I'm gonna give USC I'm gonna give them their 40 points. I know people don't want to hear that against a tough defense. It wouldn't shock me to see Iowa score 28, 20, 21, 28. So I'll give them 28.
Okay.
Yeah. I said 40. So 20. So 40, 28 USC is my score.
Okay, I feel you. Now I'll just throw this out there. In each of their last 2 games, USC's only given up 3 points in the second half against Nebraska and Northwestern. Mm-hmm. Iowa they're going to have more possessions, though. I mean, their defense is so good. They're going to have stop. Iowa's going to make plays. They're going to make plays. They have a pass rusher on top of that stout defense. They're going to make plays. They don't throw it a lot, but they catch it. They got their receivers are okay. Tight ends, they're okay. So they're going to make their plays, guys. Again, they're a wounded animal. They need this just like we do. Okay, so
I stand on what I said, Mark. 40-28. They can kill me in the comments.
Well, look, I came out of the gate quick with my early prediction this week on Inside the Trojan Huddle.
Yeah.
Here's my 3 keys, and I'm going to actually amend my score. For me, it's run the ball and get the ball into Makai's hands as much as possible. I mean, even after the catch, I mean, he is just so dangerous.
Yeah.
Second, I alluded to it earlier in the show, ball security, no turnovers. Or, you have to win the turnover battle by forcing Iowa into more of those. And hopefully there's none for USC and there's a bunch for Iowa. But yeah, ball security. And then mostly just make Iowa a passing team. Shut down their running game by any means necessary. I mean,
absolutely,
exactly. It means make Mark Mouse not want to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and because you're putting helmet on helmet on helmet on him all game long. Eventually, he's not going to want to get hit. So be the more physical team.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got out of the gate earlier this week when I thought the rain wasn't going to be a factor. So I'm still with you. I don't think they're going to get to 40. I'm taking a touchdown off of my original prediction. So I've got USC 30, Iowa 13. So still, they cover the spread. Touchdowns without missing an extra point. We're not going to miss an extra point. I'm just saying 13 will be the spread. And again, because of the inclement weather, and because there's not a lot of depth at running back right now, I'm interested to see how Coach Riley attacks this game, just to see how to keep possession. But at the same time, you can't run King into the line 30 times in this game. I don't know if he's built for that right now.
Well, the reality is, I mean, and you said it, just based on our depth, we have to consider that, So on one hand, we have to run the ball. We have to run the ball to set up the rest of our offense. You know what I mean? But also I saw King Miller coming off the field with a stinger and his arm hanging down and my heart dropped, because I'm thinking, who do we have after him? You know what I'm saying? Right. So we're already down to our third and fourth guy and he's crushing it. I think our guy Jackson, Brian Jackson, he's obviously still hobbling with that injury. Because he's not running the same. At least he didn't in the last game. But I mean, listen. If the reason it's black and blue because both teams know they're going to run the ball. You know it, okay? Desmond Stevens already said it. You called it out, and Iowa knows what we're doing with King Miller. So both teams know what's going on. This is going to be a fight where it's going to be all body shots, man. It's going to be all body shots, and whoever can last the longest, who can hold up, not fumble the ball, like you were saying. I mean, that's who's going to win the game. It should be us. That should be us. So I'm expecting us to pull out a tough win. And even though I'm saying 40-28, that's still, I think Iowa's going to make plays. They're going to make it hard on us. They have a good quarterback, good at what he does. And we have a job. We have a big job on Saturday.
They also have the dangerous special teams. They got a kicker who, they're not. Kirk Ferentz is not he is not bashful about throwing the guy out there for a 50-yard field goal, 58-yard field goal. They got a returner. His name is Caden Weijit. One of those smaller guys. I've talked about him earlier this week on the show. He can return punts and kickoffs for touchdowns, and you can also use him on offense as a gadget guy, jet sweeps and stuff. He's hard to find behind the offensive line. So those are the types of things that USC just has to be really tightened up, button up their shirt. If you can hold Iowa to field goals, USC is going to be just fine in this game. Right. They will make some plays. I think they'll get at least one touchdown. Hopefully that's it.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's it.
I mean, again, they're battle tested. They're battle tested. I hate the term good losses, but again, they lost to their arch rival in Iowa State. It's a rivalry game, so you give them that. Can go both ways, no matter who it is. And then Indiana and Oregon, and they barely lost to Oregon. It was a 2015, I think it was. So this team, Iowa's good. They're good. Their coach has been there forever. They have culture. They're in many ways, in some ways, they're ahead of us in regards to the program. And when you have a head coach who's been there for a long time, that there's a lot that goes with that. Okay, so this is going to be a tough game for us. It's a game that we should win. We have the better athletes. I think we have the better coaches. We're at home. The rain is a factor, but listen, it's not an excuse. We still have to throw the ball. We still have to catch it. So, and it impacts them like it impacts us.
I was used to these types of games. They like playing the close games. I mean, when they lose a close game. I mean, it's who they are.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away from the fact that they are a good, solid team.
Absolutely.
And you have to play good, solid football if you want to beat them. So, Marvin, we're already done with the show again. But I still got one more episode of Locked On USC this week. Plus, we'll have the instant reaction show after the game at some point Saturday. MVP3 will be back to do a follow-up. We'll put our heads together and talk about the game. Hopefully, we'll be talking about a win. Because I'm telling you, next week can be setting up a massive, massive contest. USC going up to Oregon.
Mark, don't do that. Don't do that, Mark. Don't do that.
I'm getting the fans jacked up because I'm getting the fans jacked up. The internet is going to be a toxic world when USC fan and Oregon fan get together. And I'm telling you, 8-2 USC going up to Eugene, assuming Oregon wins their Friday night game. I think they host Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
It's setting it up. But like you said, you're right. We got Iowa first, but it's hard not to kind of see that vision that Coach Riley was talking about.
If we don't take care of business on Saturday, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. And I mean that. If we don't take care of, so listen, Saturday is a championship game. It's a high level playoff game. It counts. It matters. People in LA need to show up to the Coliseum, put some people out there. We're gonna have a bunch of recruits out there. We're gonna have a ton of recruits. So we got to show out like we did against Michigan. You know, same type of energy. That's what we need. It's all of us. You know, you look at some of these other programs, Georgia, Alabama, their fans, that energy, it matters. It has tremendous impact. We need that in the Coliseum. Put down the quiche and the caviar and let's do this, you know?
Right. Put on your rain poncho, bring a hat, be ready to get wet, be
Lose
ready
your voice.
Football weather in November.
Yeah.
Show up. Do not make that a home field advantage for the Iowa Hawkeyes and their fans because they are going to show up. They're used to this type of stuff.
Mark,
this is just another day in the week for them.
Our fans should be at the Coliseum rocking their bus, rocking the Iowa bus. You know, when they pull up, we should be rocking that bus like they did in the Civil Rights Movement, man. I'm serious, Mark.
From your lips to God's ears, will that happen? Because that is the hardest thing to do is to get USC fans in their seats before the game starts. Trust me, it's a cross I bear that I have to bear. I call them out all the time. One of these days, they're going to impress me, and I'm going to say, you finally did it. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Marvin. Again, we'll be back. We'll be seeing you soon. Until that next episode, everyone, you know what to do.